Welcome to Exposing Rachel and Benjor.
Today we're going to be talking about some of the regrets that we have with the procedures we've gotten, mostly with plastic surgery. I think everyone always tells us like, you're going to regret it, and the thing is sometimes they are right.
And you really don't know until you do a lot of stuff, right? So like you kind of have to try it out and see what you like, what you don't like. And so...
An eye crusty.
What is an eye crusty?
Like an eye booger.
Oh, okay. Okay, and we'll be doing stuff as we do that. So I'm going to be dyeing my white roots now. Actually, I've had white hair since I was like 16. And so you can call me old, but I've always had it. It's in our family. My mom and my sister have that too. My dad, I think he started later in life. How about you? You don't really have white hair. Are you starting now?
I thought you were joking. Like the very first time you told me was like a couple months ago. You're like, oh, you have a gray hair. And I was like, okay. And then you pointed it out to me again, and I saw it.
Look at that.
Because our dog has white hair.
You can
just
see like
that.
in the lighting pretty well. So don't feel old if you have white hair, because I've had it since I was 16. So
It's genetic, right?
Yeah. But for you, I guess, what's the biggest regret you have of plastic surgery?
Okay, to understand the biggest regret that I have with plastic surgery, you have to understand that like my biggest insecurity growing up was that I felt like I had a very mannish face. Like I had a very, very big chin. It was a super masculine looking face. And I already had like really big bushy eyebrows that already brought kind of like a masculine vibe to my appearance. And so I was always very self-conscious about not looking super feminine.
Which is funny because now it's trendy to have big eyebrows, and I do think they look awesome on women too. But you're always kind of bullied for that, right? As well, as a child, didn't you get picked on for having bushy eyebrows?
Oh, always.
Because you had unibrows, right? Which is so easy to fix. Like you're lucky if you have unibrows because it means you can just pluck and look great.
Yeah, my mom didn't let me for a really long time. I don't really understand why. She's like, you're gonna hate if I let you do it, but I mean, who doesn't want a unibrow? Like, it's a little different. So that was why, like, growing up, I always felt like pretty ugly, pretty masculine, which is great if like you like that look, but I didn't. I'm obviously very girly. I'm hella girly. And so like when I was first experimenting with plastic surgery, something that I was self-conscious about was like from the side, I had kind of like weak jaw. It was kind of like you could see my double chin. So I got jaw implants here, and I wanted to look still very feminine but have just like a very sharp jaw. But what ended up happening is I looked even more masculine. Like I had a very square jaw. I hated it. I was very, very upset with it because the whole...
Because the thing is, like, from the side, it looked pretty decent, right? The problem was the front.
I mean, it was also a little bit botched. But...
It was a little botched. Like, it wasn't 100% straight, right?
Yeah.
Which is a problem if you do, like, custom... Or if you do pre-made, prefabricated implants. They will do, like, one piece here if you're doing chin, but they're separate. And that means that the angles may not be perfect. That's why I also did implants, but I did custom, which is a little more expensive. But they do the whole thing, because she didn't do chin, that's why. She only wanted jaw, not chin. And
I actually shaved down my chin.
Which you loved, right? It was great.
Which I loved, but because of that then, it was like, I just looked even more boxy because now my chin was shorter, which I liked. But then I have this. So then I removed my jaw implants, and then I was like, well, I still want a little something here. So I have a little bit of filler. I do even feel like for me, this is still kind of a masculine face shape. What can you do? Like I had to choose between whether I want flabby side profile or...
That's the hard thing that like you gotta be aware of plastic surgery and the procedure is that you may get what you want from one angle, and then the other angle you get what you don't want. So you gotta see like if it's worth it for you. So for me, my biggest regret is similar because I had a pretty like child looking face. It was a very cutesy boyish face. And then as like, since we got married, I was trying to gain weight and like get buff, right? So I was trying to like eat tons of protein and like work out. And it turned out that I gained a lot more fat than actual muscle. I gained some muscle, but like not that much. And then my face lost some definitions, like, well, I guess like at that time I didn't realize it was also the weight, right? I just thought that I didn't have a good jaw.
Yeah.
And then when I looked at my jawline when I was younger, it's like, oh, I had a pretty good jawline
It's
actually.
just covered with.
It's just covered
fat.
with fat because like but all my fat goes to my face. Like it
Same.
literally goes all to my cheeks and not the lower cheeks, the high cheeks. And so, anyways, that's why I also got it, and that's what I also didn't realize that my face would get bigger, and my chin also got pretty big, and so it's pretty much the same size as my mouth right now. Which is not usual. Like most guys that look good don't have that unless you're like Superman and then you do have a huge chin.
I think it's really hot though.
So yeah, like that's probably like my biggest regret because it's a lot. And if I just did fillers, I would have had a lot more control. I would have been a lot more careful of the size. And so I may get that removed in the future. I don't have the time or patience or money to do that now. Like I have a lot more important things to do in my life and to spend money on than plastic, like my business, right? Like growing stuff, growing your careers, and you also gotta like wait a month to remove it, and then you're swollen for so long. So I'm not down for that right now.
That's the thing too. Like like in kind of tandem with talking about regrets, I really didn't realize how much plastic surgery would hurt. Like just recovery time for me, you were fine, but. For me, it was super like.
Tell them like what happened when you had your jaw surgery.
Like I was throwing up. I was so nauseous because they give you pain medicines. It's like the heavy stuff too. This is like the Percocet, the opioids, especially because we did it in Brazil. They're not as restricted as in the U.S. So they were giving us the good shit, and
that means
it makes
it wasn't
you really sick.
It wasn't painful for you, but. You were throwing up, so you're just nauseous, right? There's no pain, but you're nauseous.
There is pain because then I stopped taking the pain medicine because I was so nauseous. And then it was painful. It's like I had to choose, would I rather be like horrendously nauseous and suffering or in pain suffering?
Yeah, because being nauseous is pretty awful, huh?
Yeah, so I chose pain because...
Was that worth it?
Yeah, it's depending on everybody, right? You don't really get nauseous or seasick, but I'm very sensitive.
Yeah, no, being nauseous is awful.
It's so hard for me to talk and do my makeup at the same time. I'm not realizing this until now, but like, I realize my makeup is like my focus time, and I can't concentrate and talk very well. Does that mean I'm dumb? I can't like talk and walk at the same time. I can't like talk and do
just
makeup.
means like everybody else that nobody really multitasks. People that say they're great multitaskers, they're just BSing.
Good at doing a couple things shitty.
Yeah, because like nobody can actually do a lot of things at the same time really well. We think we do sometimes, but
that's how I feel. So sorry if I'm coming across as boring. I'm just like so focused on not gluing myself in my eye.
You're not.
But, then
that's number one thing for us then, right? It was the jaw for you, jaw and chin for me. Just too big, which is also hard because we've had plastic before and it was like too natural. Like if I'm spending all this money doing all this effort, I want to be noticeable.
Yeah, like what, your nose?
My nose, yeah. So that's the second regret I have. Like second biggest regret was my nose job, and I don't really regret getting a nose job. I regret getting it with the surgeon I did. And so at that time, I had consultations with 4 surgeons. And I was like interviewing them, right? And I was saying, hey, this is what I need, this is what I want. The 4 of them said, you should not do it because your nose is good enough. Or they said it was great, right? Like your nose is great already. And I said, well, I do want it. And I want it to be, it's not much. It's minimal, I get it. But I am going to get it done. And so are you going to help or not? And then this guy said that he would, 2 of them seemed really good. And they're like the most expensive guys where we are in Brazil. And so, it's like, well, I was pretty indecisive between them both. Anyways, I picked the most expensive guy. Like, well, he has to be better for some reason, right? And he also did like structure rhinoplasty, which, you know, through the decades when your cartilage starts weakening, your nose is supposed to not fall down and like become drippy because they put cartilage on it inside to make it stronger.
I didn't really like him as a person though. He was a great person, but I think
he was really nice. So biggest mistake I made there with my nose job was that I didn't really judge them by their work. I judge them by their word. And I believe that in Brazil, they cannot really post their before and after on social media. And so picking them by their work is kind of hard because I think they couldn't like send us before and after photos because they don't want to give you the wrong expectation, like, oh, you're gonna look like these people. But then how the fuck am I gonna judge them, right? Like, I don't know. Is it here? Yeah. So, like, how the fuck am I gonna judge what their work is? So that's my biggest regret. Like, I did have to have it shaved later because he basically just made my nose very pointy and girly. I was getting surgery to make it less girly because it was already kind of pointy naturally. I wanted to make it very straight, and then he ended up making it even more pointy. And then he wouldn't do surgery again to fix it, and then anyways, fillers.
Why was that he wouldn't? He just said it was too.
He just said it wasn't worth it. Like, it was so minimal that I should just do fillers instead, because that would fix it easier and cheaper than getting surgery. So that's me. What about you? What's your second thing?
My second thing was getting way too much lip filler. And when I say way too much, I'll be honest, it wasn't like that much. But the thing is, once you start doing things often, you kind of like get blind to it. It's.
Brittany.
Do you hear the dogs outside? Our pug all of a sudden has become extremely aggressive. I don't know if it's the doggy daycare we're sending her to.
Brittany.
But she wants to like beat up every dog on the block now. So I don't know what that's about. But I started getting a lot of lip filler, and then I didn't even really notice that like my lips started looking super. Oh my gosh, shut your fucking dog up.
We're right by the beach, so we can see the dog park and people
Listen,
walking.
I get that like your dog barks. Our dogs bark. I get it. But if your dogs for 20 minutes on a walk are screaming and everybody in the area has to suffer, this woman walks every single day and her dogs yip and yap for half an hour.
Oh god.
It's just a little ridiculous.
Which I feel kind of embarrassed because our dogs kind of did that at the dog park too.
At the dog park with dogs, not
No, the dog
walking
park
in
is empty
public.
and they're like inviting dogs over, so like they'll be looking for dogs whenever they see a dog walking by. They'll be screaming at them like they're dying because all they want is just the dogs to come in and play with them.
I know.
So I also get a little embarrassed of our dogs at the dog park here.
That's funny. Anyway, my lips just started, not really my lower lip, my upper lip just started looking like kind of inflated. Like if you think of like Marge Simpson, that's kind of what I felt like they looked like because they just didn't quite look natural. And it's hard because the lip shape that I want is not my natural lip shape. I have a pretty pronounced Cupid's bow and I don't like that.
Which so many people literally get surgery to get that, right? So it's crazy how we
It's weird, right?
we never want what we have naturally, right?
Yeah, well, I hate it personally, and so I want to have like big, juicy, rounded lips, which I'm still thinking about one day potentially getting a lip lift. I think could be really helpful for me.
Can you do a second mirror? You can keep talking.
So that's something that I would love to do in the future, but I'm kind of scared because then you get like a really big scar here. So I don't know that that's really the best route to take either. But I guess for me, like you can tell pretty quickly if somebody's had plastic surgery by their lips. Like you can tell really quickly if somebody's natural or not, you know? So I just felt like I got my lip filler removed a couple weeks ago and just got it refilled, and they're way tinier than they've ever been. Which I don't love, but they do actually look natural. So I think for now I'm just gonna be okay with not having them as big as I want to be, but at least they'll look natural, which is important. I don't know,
That's a hard thing because you don't know until you do it, right? And you do get the benefits in the meantime too, right? Because like, yeah, we may regret those things, but we're always looking usually a little better than before. So even if it's not perfect, it's like, whoa, my lips, yours, right? Like they were way bigger than naturally, so they were still better than naturally, don't you think?
Oh, they were. I just feel like people take it too far. Like I'm a huge victim of that, you know, like taking things too far. I've always tried to be so careful about not looking like a crazy person, you know, because I love plastic surgery if you don't take it too far. There's so many just like absolutely gorgeous people, like men and women, who like were beautiful before, and had they stopped at
Like
just,
the
one or
human,
two,
the human can, right?
those people I think are just mentally ill, you know, because like you learn to stop at some point, and that's what I'm trying to be good at, is like stopping before it looks
Crazy.
insane.
Yeah, and that's like the thing. I think it's also about trying to enhance your natural beauty rather than trying to look like somebody else, which is hard because
You always look like someone else when you change it, you know?
no, like you want plastic because you kind of want to look like a different vibe, right? At least for me, I want to look more manly and like stronger, sharper. But then you overdo it, right? Because like if I had just done fillers, which I had done before, like just jaw and fillers on my face, jaw, chin fillers. But if I just kept it very minimal, I would probably look better. But you don't really see the difference when you do minimal work. And so you kind of always want more, so it's more evident that like, oh,
You got something done.
I have a very sharp jawline now. It's not just a better jawline, it's a very sharp one, you know? I don't know what I'm doing in the back here. I'm just hoping I cover it, but honestly, I don't care. So cool thing with black hair is that when I was a ginger a month ago, I would dye my hair like every 2-3 weeks max. And now it's been a whole month and I barely needed to dye. I'm kind of doing because I want to and because I'm doing a music video next week. But it's
Wait, tell us
not
about the
that
music video
visible.
after this.
It's not that visible. Yeah, well, it's a song called Self-Made Mantra. And so I've always used my songs to like help me remember my goals and stay like energized during the week. You know, listen to them and stuff. And so this song is about that. It's like using it as a mantra to like not wait for other people to give us opportunities in life. I feel like everything I got, the best in life, was not really given to me. Like you go and get it, right? Like my first good job when I was in college still. And then I was paid to like travel the world and speak on stages. I actually made up that position in the company and I pitched myself to have that position.
I remember we were so excited. You like had this amazing idea, and you're like, Rachel, I'm gonna grow so much at this company. I'm gonna travel the world. And you did.
And then I pitched them, right, the position. I created the job position and I offered them how it would bring value to the company, and then they did it. And then we bought a house at 22 without money. That was also like creating opportunities, right? Like it wasn't like there, we did not have the money. None of our friends had done that. And then starting my business, like I feel like all the big steps I've taken in life was by creating my own opportunities. So that's what this song is about. You not waiting. If you're not a Nepo baby, that means you gotta create your own opportunities, baby.
Which, shout out to the Nepo babies, lucky for you guys, you know? But I really am enjoying like the process of like just building something with you, because I think something that so many people get into is like so cute rock band.
I love it.
So many people fall into the trap, especially like girls like me, fall into the trap of like the thing you should be looking for is like
Rich husband.
yeah, rich husband, you know what I mean? And so, but something that I've loved so much is like growing with you, because a lot of people that
Because they got married at 21, we're super broke in college.
we've just like seen everything together, you know what I mean? Like I was thinking about it, like if I had married somebody who was like 20 years older than me and already established, like you can't really grow together. Like there's always this like gap of like we're not.
Yeah, they're always 10 steps above you financially, right? In their career.
It just doesn't really feel like marriage, because it's just like they're giving you what you need, and then that can come back to bite you later if they upgrade to a younger model.
Oh yeah.
So
and then I also feel like that really reflects on your like confidence and self-worth.
yeah.
Because if you went and got it on your own, you have a lot of pride. So like when you start doing sales, that's the first time in your life that you actually got like amazing money and like results on your own, like with your own job. And you became a lot more confident. Like I'm the shit because I made as much money. I did it, you know?
Yeah, it's very proud
And
to
that-
be like, I'm bringing in
And
the big
that confidence
dollar.
nobody can give us. Like we just get that by trying new things, right? I had never done sales,
Because if somebody's marrying you you based on your beauty or your age, those things fade super quickly, you know, quicker than others, which is probably why we're crazy about plastic surgery, because ideally we'd like to be young forever. But
I don't care about looking old. I literally
you're
like
the one who said you don't want to be a geriatric pop star.
Well, now because I did this to look older, like to look more manly, right? And now look at photos when I was younger. It's like, why did I do that? Like, I look like a cute little boy with sharp jaw, with not this huge chin. Why did I want to look older? I don't know. But like my taste is just changing. But now I'm like wanting to look younger. It's like that influencer Pierre, like the French guy on Instagram. He's like 36 and he looks really young. And like, I should have done that.
Juicy lips and
Yeah, tons of lip fillers, right? Which is also why I got lip fillers, because they make you look. I don't care about younger, but they just look
they
better.
make you look juicy for sure.
Looks better. Well, they're not juicy, yeah, because I gotta add more. But
that's the thing
they're not so thin anymore.
We don't really have that many regrets at the end of the day. Like
No.
we have a few, and I think people always have a few. Whenever you try something new, people will regret getting bangs or dyeing their hair,
Oh,
or
yeah.
how they used to dress.
Because I think that's just like anything in life, right? You gotta try it out, and like you learn as you go. If we just waited, we'd just like look the same as we did 7 years ago. So because we're willing to like take some risks and try it out, now we know and we do look better.
Yeah, because still, when I look back at old photos of myself, I still feel like I look 10 times better. Even with plastic that wasn't perfect, I still look 10 times better. I look back and I'm like, I literally had no lips.
No,
Or, like, I look back
you had good bottom
and
lips,
before-
but not top.
Yeah, and I still don't love my top lips, but at least they're natural. I was so
They're not natural. Oh, they
bloated.
look natural. Yes.
Yeah, they look natural.
Yeah.
Like the buckle fat pad too just totally changed my
Oh,
face.
yeah,
So,
there's a
like,
lot of stuff
even
that we
if
did
it's not
like.
perfect, at least it's like, well, I'll put it in it.
Speaking of that, though, if you do want to do like some of the stuff we've done, if you're interested in like how we could pay for it, right? We did it all in Brazil. Currency really helps. They have like top surgeons there that tons of pop stars only go to them. And so globevacay.com is where we can actually help you recommend people in here. Just doctors that we've worked with or that we've heard good things about. And so you can check that out if you want to do plastics for cheaper. And we say Globe Vacay because you really got to like do a ton of surgery and do it for way cheaper. Plus,
And if you could see the view out our window, you'd
and you're at the
there's
beach,
cruise
enjoying
ship out
like.
there. There's tons of tourists.
So you're enjoying like a nice vacation in Brazil while getting work done for cheap. So it's really fun. You can apply there, and we can help you answer your questions and help you out if you want. But yeah, any other regrets that come to mind?
Not doing it sooner, honestly. The other thing is just not even doing some of the stuff sooner. But yeah, you'll always have to be careful. But I'm pretty happy and I'm excited. I have a couple things in mind for the next couple of years, but I think over the next year or two, I'm just gonna like leave it.
Chill out.
I'm just gonna chill out and
Yeah.
need some time to settle.
That's good. Yeah, we've done a lot already. We should just chill out now. And yeah, same for me. I'll probably just keep the black hair for a while.
Is that vibe? Can you say in the comments if you think that the black is better than the red? Because I'll be honest, even though as much as I love you and think you're hot no matter what, I hated the orange hair. It
Yeah.
wasn't- Like, I just think this is so classically attractive.
It is, which is not like it wasn't my vibe before, right? I did it for the vibe, so I didn't do it to look good. But I do like this a lot because my eyes always look pretty gray, and now they look a lot more green/blue. So that's nice. I'll take that. That being said, last thing we're doing here is just dyeing the eyebrows because I have some blondie hairs coming out. And you're done. You look great.
I'm done.
Ready for a walk?
I literally am like sweating. It's so hot. We don't have the AC turned on so that you can hear us. And I have like a puddle of sweat dripping down my back. So I'm ready to
Clock out.
clock out.
Take a walk at the beach. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. It was great talking to you. And we'll see you here next time.
See
Bye.
ya.